All right, welcome to another episode of the Freezin NFC North Podcast, episode 60, 2023, Week 3 review, Week 4 previews, Homer versus Reality Takes, Lucky in Love, Bears coaching debacle, and more. Looks like we've got some guests with you, Craig, and where can everyone find you as we get started?
Yeah, I'm a writer for dailynorseman.com. You can catch me on there and on Twitter at GA_SKol.
Awesome. And Seventh Letter, welcome back. Drinking the Kool-Aid, getting ready for Thursday. Where can everyone find you?
At the top of the NFC North on Friday morning.
That's what I'm hoping for. And below you will be the Packers. And Trevor, where can everyone find you again?
Yeah, just follow me on Twitter, Rev Trev K. That would be great. And on YouTube, Kempner Sports.
Awesome. And I am NFLOutdated. You can find me on Twitter, X, whatever it is, on YouTube as well. And trying to stir up some stuff with the Packer fans. It's been a fun, eventful week as we talk about these games from this past week. I'm still in on Fields. We'll get to that a little bit later here. I'm still in on Fields. I'm still out on Love. And although he had some moments, so we'll kind of get into some of that first. Let's just go ahead and just rip the Band-Aid off. Tell us a little bit about Trevor. What were some of the keys to that Packer comeback? I'm going to call it the largest and luckiest comeback in franchise history, I believe, right? 18-17 versus the Saints. Tell us a little bit about that game from your perspective.
Yeah, so I felt like I was pretty excited about some of the play calls, especially that I don't, you wouldn't call it a flea flick or whatever you call it. Really disappointing, though, that Jordan Love slipped. I would have really liked to see that. I thought it was a great play call, but it is what it is. Didn't work, looked awful. In fact, the first half was just atrocious by our team. I do think, and this is not an excuse, I do think this is a reason, missing all those guys. I was shocked at the list. I knew that we were probably going to be missing Watson and maybe Jones, but then the list starts, and then all of a sudden Jair's out. It's like, what? Since when? I didn't even know there was an issue.
Nobody
didn't sound like he was going to be out. So that really surprised me. But when we hit that fourth quarter, it was like it went from awful to epic. It really did. Now people are going to.
It's on NFL Network right now. I have it on in the background. So if you hear me crying a little bit, that's probably why. But keep going.
Right. So I watched the last quarter again because really the first three quarters are not worth watching. It was just so frustrating watching this team play. But, they kept fighting, and we got some calls that finally went our way, which was nice. But we sustained drives, and, at the end of the day, it's a huge moral victory. It's massive. Like, that comeback was amazing. I don't know if you guys ended up watching my reaction video. I was going nuts in my big movie theater room there and just enjoying life. It was fun to be a part of that because I didn't know that this year what we were going to look like. And so to have a moment like that, I really enjoyed it. So loved clutching up and being a part of that big drive. And I love the back shoulder pass to Romeo Doubs. That was impressive. And so, but I love his rushing. Jordan Love's legs. That's surprising to me how good he's been. So I'm giving him a lot of credit there. We can also complain that last week he didn't get, all that was on him. I still don't think that. I think Jair dropping the pick six was the difference maker. But at the end of the day, it's a huge win. It's a huge win for us. Now, I know, no Derek Carr, right?
It's all right. He ain't much better than Winston.
Right. Well, I mean, that's what I appreciate that because not everyone else is saying that in this room. So, they want to make all these excuses that, and maybe we would have lost with Carr. It could have happened, but they didn't, and it didn't happen. So I woulda, coulda, shoulda is like, I just feel like with you guys, it's always woulda, coulda, shoulda. Like,
Well, yeah. So on the other end of the spectrum, obviously, I was watching, and with every Green Bay game, I am hoping for a loss, and I'm hoping to see kind of Love stumble. That's what I'm looking for, right? And yes, when you look at it, Love had a lot of struggles, and that's why I'm out on him. You look at it; it's so interesting how a loss in any sport, right? Any sport, the end of the game can change completely how you feel about the whole game. If you get the win, any means necessary, that can completely change how you think about the rest of the game. And that's why, interact with a lot of Packer fans on Twitter, X, whatever. And a lot of them like, well, he played great. No, he didn't. He made some plays when it mattered. And I give him that credit. But I'm still giving more credit to LaFleur. With how innovative he is with the plays. He's putting his players in the best possible positions to make plays. And you're seeing some of the growing pains early on with Love early in the game. And if Packer fans are honest, they were pretty frustrated. I mean, just completely on their way to being shut out. And that, like I said last week, that Saints defense is tough, right? But no matter, I said this last year too, no matter how good a defense is, we talked about this with the Packers defense, no matter how good a defense is, if it's on the field it's going to tire out. Exactly. And that's what I was hoping. That's what happened. And I was hoping Jameis could make a play here and there, but and we could go back and forth whether Carr is good or not, but he's better than Jameis, right? He's serviceable. He was making some plays.
No, I think he's better.
But even that was enough to kind of give them just that advantage. Just and really they didn't do too much on offense, but they were doing enough to kind of stay ahead and keep the Packers down.
David Carr had 2 scoring drives, a touchdown and a field goal. Everything else was a punt.
What did Jameis have though? Right?
He had a whole bunch of punts too. It was the same. Their
stats
are nearly identical. I think, matter of fact, Jameis Williams, Winston had more yards per completion. So they're both bums, both of them. Both of them. It wasn't much difference at all. He's a good backup, I guess. But no. 2 bombs and the defense got tired at the end.
Yeah, I mean, I get what Rev Trev is saying though when you're talking about like the woulda, shoulda, coulda, because that's pretty much what the Vikings heard all last year. We're like, oh, you keep on winning these close games if Josh Allen didn't fumble or if this call went the other way. Like, you get that all the time with these close games like that. I mean, I know I called. That's the first thing I said. The Packers are down 17-0. McCarr was in the game, but when you look at it closer, because I wasn't watching the game. When you look at it closer, you can actually tell, like, it wasn't that big a difference between the 2 quarterbacks. It actually was a comeback by the Packers.
It wasn't.
Technically, it was. So you can say it wasn't.
It was.
I mean,
it was.
We were down 17-0, and we won 18-17. That's a comeback. I don't care how it's done. It's just a fact. Craig, honestly.
No,
I know you're trying to be like, oh, we're rivals and all that crap. But at the end of the day, it's a comeback, whether you like it or not, whether you'd like that we won or not, right?
No, never. Yeah, I know. Yeah.
You just said it wasn't. So
no, I said it was a legitimate comeback and not the other team collapsing is what I was meaning by that. Like, it wasn't just the other team fucking up. It was the Packers actually.
What about the Bills game last year?
Well, so here
you guys they fumbled. And you counted it, and it counted.
Well, no, that's exactly what I'm saying. Like, we got that all last year, and so like when you actually look at it, it is.
But you're doing the exact same thing that you hated everyone doing to you.
Well, here,
like, isn't that hypocritical to me?
That's the fun part of sports. We can be, right? But Trevor, here's my question though, and I think we were 1 field goal, and that's a rookie kicker for the Saints. We were 1 field goal away from the Packers losing, and I think it's such a fine line in any sporting event, how we can change, and just the narrative of a W can cover up so many things. I mean, we're seeing that with the Bears. Had the Bears even like beaten the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, had they done that, it wouldn't be such a shit show that it is now. It still would be, but not as much. With the Packers, there might be more questions on Jordan Love had they lost that. You lose to backup quarterback, so the narratives are so interesting and flip so quickly.
Unless it's expected from the Packers, you know what I mean? Then the Vikings, you know what I mean? Like the Vikings were the division champs last year. So nobody really, that's why what I was saying in the summer. I mean, I hate to say I told you so. It's going to be between me and him. I told you.
I'm still not buying the Packers yet.
Hey, they still got it. They got one thing. They got an experienced defense. Their defense is more experienced than everybody else on this podcast.
I do. Yeah, their defense is solid. And that, I'm giving more of the credit to LaFleur and the defense. And obviously, part of that's my fandom. I totally get that. But, when you have a defense that's going to hold the team down and Rashawn Gary is a stud, right? That's gonna make a difference. That obviously made a difference versus the Bears, and all that as well. But I wanted to seventh letter. You brought up the Vikings. So Craig, what happened in this game? I mean, you got a Kirk Cousins. I mean, he's almost going to throw for 6,000 yards. I know I did say 5,000. He's on pace to just go nuts. But that final play, that had to be frustrating. You got a veteran quarterback in his home building, couldn't even hear. What happened?
That's the most absurd thing. I mean, it's the way things have been going for the Vikings this year. They're just kicking themselves in their own ass. So first of all, most teams, when they get a first down with 30 seconds left on the clock, they're going to spike the ball. You got 3 downs. You're going to take your time. Like, you get a little bit of time to think about it. You don't have to rush up. Well, Kevin O'Connell likes to kind of surprise the defense, even though they all know what's coming. And our idiot fans were screaming their heads off. Like Kirk Cousins is trying to hear and couldn't hear the play. Kirk, instead of just being like, fuck it, let me go spike it so we can figure it out, just sat there trying to hear him for 10 seconds. And then the play was rushed. It was a good throw, though. I mean, he hit the highest paid tight end in the league in the hands, and it gets intercepted. So, I mean, what's Kirk going to do? I mean, he gets, his QB loss again, but it's like, what the fuck else is he supposed to do? It's just the team around him sucks.
I'm not going to let you.
And I know what you're about to say about
my boy. I'm not going to let you put that on my son TJ, man. That was Kirk Cousins' fault the whole way. The last 2 drives, he blew it. The last drive. This is why Kirk Cousins is a trap.
You got the ball in your hands. 2 hands on the ball as a tight end. Catch the fucking ball. Though.
Listen, he should have never thrown it there. That's not the type of player TJ Hawkinson is. He just shouldn't have never done it.
This is so weird to hear, seventh letter. You actually defending TJ Hawkinson.
I know.
No, because he shouldn't have done it. TJ Hawkinson isn't that type of pass catcher. He likes to catch the ball on the run. That's what he does. He's not a diver or a bouncer outer. That's on Kirk.
I heard on the Score North they were talking about how, and they were talking bad about Hawkinson, how he started out with a fumble and then ended with
the game with a fumble, and it's just, I mean, it's a comedy of errors every Vikings game. Like, the turnovers are relentless.
Soft, man.
It's not looking good. I mean, we played basically nobody in the preseason. We came out slow as hell in the first game. We haven't been able to get slow starts on the Kevin O'Connell. That's why he had so many damn comebacks last year. We come out, it looks like the team's unprepared every game. It's like it's 20 games now, and we've seen it every single game with them. Like, it's almost every game they get behind. His teams aren't ready when they come out. I don't know what it is, but I'm starting to question him more and more every game.
It's Kirk Cousins, man.
Well, I mean, that too. That's part of it too. I mean, Kirk is. I mean, even Zimmer had the same issue.
Kirk Cousins, he gets us. Like, people are like stat dummies. You know what I'm saying? You look at all the yards. You look at all the
wins and losses.
JJ makes them look great. You know what I'm saying? But when it comes to that, just those last 2 drives is Kirk Cousins in a nutshell. Mrs. Osborne. He missed Osborne. He missed Addison. Then he tries to fit some garbage in the TJ Hawkinson when he should have just spiked it because he couldn't hear. I can't hear. I don't know what the coach said. Let's hurry up and get up here and spike it.
The head coach fucked up. Kirk fucked up. They should have spiked that from the beginning. It was dumb.
Man. On first down.
And they took 25 seconds to get up there and actually snap the ball.
Yes.
Almost all your time.
On first down.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was a comedy of errors in that last moment. You look at it. I mean, the Chargers, Trevor, I mean, they're a good team, though, aren't they?
Well, I thought they were. I mean, they were 0-2 walking into the game.
They'll
So
never be nothing with that coach.
Yeah, their coach is atrocious, and
Mhm.
he's getting roasted. So, but I do think that that's a talented roster. I think that both of those rosters were a lot better than their records were, and I was shocked that this is a toilet bowl game in week 3. I'm one of my best friends is a Chargers fan, so I follow them quite closely, and they are. I offensively, they're incredible. They don't know how to run the ball without Eckler, though. That's the weird thing. I mean, Justin Herbert, in my opinion, is an absolute stud. And he's got more weapons now. Losing Mike Williams
Again.
that hurts. Yep. But in saying that, Quentin Johnson should be stepping up, but he hasn't been getting a lot of targets. It seems like it's Palmer's the guy that's the number 2 there, and I'm like, it just hurts. They don't really have a great tight end, but I think they have a good O-line, and that once Eckler comes back, I think they're going to be fine. But that coaching, I don't know. Everyone's saying that he should get fired. They just won a game.
Fire him after a win. That's crazy. Right?
That was the worst decision I ever.
Well, it's a cumulative from what I've heard. Just all the previous years. And,
yes.
That's the big thing. I mean, wins and losses in the NFL, they're tough. But it can, had they lost to the Vikings, maybe it would be even more of a, loud chorus to say, fire him. But I don't know how many NFL teams actually will fire, midway through the season. But if one deserves to be fired, it's definitely the Bears coaching staff. And it's a complete mess. And you see here in all the press conferences, and I'll let you guys kind of chime in here in a second, but they're telling the players, Jalen Johnson, they're saying we're not that far off. We're not that far off, and trying to. And I get it, as a coach, you want to try to keep a group of players together. But when you look at this game, and I know everyone wants to throw things on Justin Fields, but I've heard like Chase Daniel go through the all 22, and other people go through the all 22 and look at. The plays and everything. And when you look at it, Justin Fields has made some good throws. He made one to DJ Moore.
He dropped it.
And then also looking at the all-22, shout out to the CHGO podcast and my guy Greg Braggs, and team there. And they were looking at that, and DJ Moore is running lazy routes. He's not even, completing some of his routes, and that's tough. And so that is why, and when you have players that have already, checked out at this time, that has to be a coaching, a coaching issue, huge coaching issue. And I know I'm going to let you guys kind of chime in and throw shade at me. Who's to blame here? I'm going to go ahead and start with you, Craig, since I know you're a huge fan of Justin Fields, but tell me what you think about this Chicago Bears loss to the Chiefs.
Yeah, I mean, I think the offense to me is more to blame than anything. It's just a lack of anything going on. I mean, there's a lack of excitement from your own players, so you're not going to have much creativity going on, which obviously starts with coaching. Your offensive coordinator is terrible. Your defensive coordinator's quit. So I mean, it's a clusterfuck over there, pretty much. But it's
a lack of creativity.
It's a lackluster offense. I mean, nobody. If their own players can't get excited about playing offense, then now the fans, how is anybody in the stadium even going to be excited about it? And then Fields is trying to just be Mr. Nice Guy and please everybody and just play the part. And it really just needs to be like, these players don't give a shit. They can kick their ass.
What are your thoughts, seventh letter?
Oh, man, where do I start? I think at this point, I think it's self-preservation time for Eberflus. Like, you got a lot of like, I don't know what's up with the offensive coordinator, like proximity privilege or something. Like, I don't know. Like, that's his man. Like, get him the fuck out of here. Like, get him out of here. He gotta do the Dan Campbell thing.
The problem is there's nobody behind him, and we've already had a defensive coordinator resign. So that's the huge issue. Like, who's going to call plays behind him? But if they do get rid of him, it's going to be a tank for Caleb. And we may be at that point pretty soon. I am still in on Fields. Trevor, what are you seeing from Fields and the Bears?
I mean, I don't know if any one of us picked that the Bears are going to win last week, so that's not really shocking. I think for you guys, the shocking piece is that you lost by 30, but I literally predicted that on this show last week. Like, I wasn't trying to be a jerk about it. I was just literally like,
it was 41-0 in the middle of the third quarter, bro. That's
what I'm saying is though is like we had a very struggling team walking in who wasn't good last year, who made some improvements against the Super Bowl champs. And so I'm not really like freaking out about this thing. What sucks is everyone's talking about Taylor Swift instead of the Chicago Bears. Yeah. And that's the problem is you can't compete because at halftime they switch games in the middle of the broadcast. It was so bad.
Mm-hmm. And I missed that. So yeah.
Oh, dude, it was terrible. Like next thing you know, it's going somewhere else, and I'm like, I'm actually enjoying this butt kicking. It's been fun to watch. You were. And but in all seriousness, I don't think it's all Justin Fields' fault, but I do think he's shell shocked. I think he's been running for his life for 3 seasons, and now he cannot make a decision because he's like Seventh Letter said last week. He's holding on to the ball too long. Right, and then there's people open and he's not chucking it. I can only equate that not as that he never did that until like last week, right? Like really bad last week, and then this week it's like, what are you gonna do? Right,
part of it, yeah. Part of it's you got receivers running wrong routes as well, and so that kind of messes timing, and so there's a lot of it, with that. But the biggest thing, and we're talking about like Chicago radio, is Matty Eberflus came in and he's got this hits principle and he's really focused on the details, right? And that's now what he is, basically saying that his team needs to get better on the details. And so that's the big thing is that we have a coach who has hung his hat on, being good at the details, and his team is not good on the details, and we've lost a defensive coordinator. And, so there's a lot of that, when you look at the Bears offensive line, this is the third game of the year. This is the third different starting offensive line combo in 3 weeks. Third different,
bro. And it's about to be your anniversary for the last win.
Yeah. Thanks for reminding me. Yeah,
that's crazy.
And we'll talk about that doesn't surprise me from last year, but just how it's gone this year. But I'm not one that's really panicking yet. A lot of people in Chicago are like, oh, this team's going to go in 17. So Trevor, I liked what you said. This was expected. The Bears weren't going to, come in and win. What wasn't expected is just to not see competent football. That sucked. But when you look at this Chiefs, they have a top 3 defense, and they're young and they're fast and they're good.
87 net pass yards.
Yeah, so they're good, and obviously, but you couple that with Getsy, it is one of the least creative offenses. It's so bland. It's like you have Getsy, he rode Aaron Rodgers' coattails. He had never called plays before, and it sucks. And it sucks because this is what the ownership has really chosen in this path, and they just don't know how to choose the right people. It sucks, all around. And everybody, is pointing at Fields. I totally get that. But when you have, everything else is going on, the offensive line, they're looking at the all 22s. There was so much blocking confusion. The offensive line. They haven't played together. They were passing guys off to literally no one. And just saying, oh, here you go. But then that comes down to the coaching as well, because Matt Eberflus chose in the last preseason game not to play his players. So yes, I know everyone wants to say Fields and that gets clicks and everything. I'm still in on Fields. I'm out on this coaching staff. It has to get blown up if the Bears lose to the Broncos this week. It's gonna get worse. So.
The 2 most embarrassing games last week they get to play. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That is crazy.
Well, speaking of let's I'm done with my rant for now on that. So let's talk about some happier things. The Lions. Talk about what were some of the keys to the Lions doing what the Packers could not.
We were just hungry last week. I told you we hate the Seahawks, man, and I knew that was going to make us upset. We could not get to Geno Smith at all. I knew we were going to send a lot of blitzes this week. We did a couple new things. We used our big linebackers as defensive ends. That helped a lot. That got us some pressure because we lost James Houston against Seattle. So we use Campbell as a defensive end. He's big, 6'5", 240. We use Barnes as a pass rusher. We Aiden Hutchinson finally got home. I think that they kind of kept him disciplined and he didn't spin out the play like he always does. Like defensively, we look good. I mean, Ritter helped us a lot. I don't want to get that fucked up. You know what I'm saying? But that young boy, man, that young boy. Thank you so much, Trev, for trading us that pick so we can pick him up. 32. He is a prop. I love him, man. I love him so much. He's a great player, and I think I finally got like somebody else that we can put with Aiden Hutchinson on the defense. And all we need to do is add maybe one more, and I think we'll have like one of those great defenses, those top 5 defenses. We're at 11 now. But again, that Atlanta game helped a lot. I don't think we're there yet defensively. We'll be tested this week because the Packers run. He won't hold on to the ball as long as Ritter did. So we'll be tested this week. But we just played well. The offense was patient. Jahmyr Gibbs got going later in the game, but that's how you finish games out. Like they were kind of doing different things. They were expecting him. We hit the best tight end in the NFL. On a deep touchdown. He's better than Hawkinson. Laporta, he's a problem. Crazy thing is, our second round picks are better than our first round picks. and that's I guess that's a good thing. I mean, you draft those first round picks for that talent and the upside, but our second round picks, they play right now, and they have been like flashing all year. Laporta's a great blocker. He's fast. He's good after the catch. He's scrappy. He's gritty. Like we like him. I'm just happy. I was happy with the game. 20-6. It was, we were very, very injured on the offensive line, injured all over the place, and it was like we didn't. We were just hungry, and it looked that way. So.
Yeah, it was definitely a get right game. When you look at it, they needed that. I'm gonna say Mike Kuntz here says, "What's up, guys?" Thanks. He also says Lions looking like they're going to win the division. All right.
Really good.
I like that.
That defense impressed me the most on Sunday. Run defense. I mean, Bijan's been running over everybody his first couple of games, and he was shut down on the ground. I mean, it was
Brian Branch was trying to hurt that.
I think they game plan exactly. I mean, the coach. The props to the coaches for game planning that way because nobody's scared of Desmond. I mean, the quarterback of the Falcons. It's nobody's gonna be scared of him. Make him beat you. And so far, Bijan's been running even though the teams know what's coming. And the Lions were able to step up and completely shut him down.
Yeah, Brian Branch, man. Brian Branch.
We might be hearing that name a lot on Thursday. We'll get to that game in a second. Let's move on to the Vikings. When you look at this week, week 4, I want to say it's one of the toilet bowls.
Yeah, it's the other one.
So what is a path for the Vikings getting a W versus the winless Panthers this week?
Well, I'm really hoping Andy Dalton doesn't play because he seems to kick the Vikings' ass every time they play. But it's. I shouldn't be nervous about the game. It should be an easy win. I'm actually going to drive up. I'm in Atlanta, so I'm going to drive up to Charlotte for the game and go see it.
Tickets are cheaper there too, aren't they?
I can see them turning the ball over and losing it just like they've lost to the other games. I mean, they're -7 or 8 in the turnover margin right now. I mean, it's just not turn the ball over and they'd be undefeated. But that's obviously a simple answer. But that's essentially what they need to do is just cut out the turnovers and play solid football like they do when they're not turning it over.
Yeah, I got another good defensive line coming up too. They got a good line. So
I mean, the D lines have been crucial. I mean, the O line actually was pretty good this past week. I mean, Ed Ingram on that right guard was killed the first week and 2 weeks, and then last week he was pretty good. I mean, it's not all on the O line. Everybody thinks the O line's falling in Minnesota, but it's really not that terrible. It's just overall the offense is just clunky and sloppy, and Kirk this past week looked slow. So I mean, I don't know what it was. He just seemed to step slow this week. So I mean, I'm hoping they kind of wake up and hang on to the ball and just fix their mistakes.
Dalton's Risner's gonna play this week, right?
Maybe. I don't know if they really want him in the starting lineup. He might just be the backup. I mean, he's ready to play. I don't think you'll see the field unless somebody goes down there. I don't think they plan on benching Ingram or Cleveland, Ezra Cleveland on the other side.
It's so interesting, like how some of these veterans stay, without a job for so long. Like I wanted my Bears to sign him or something, but obviously, there's something, they're a step slow or whatever, compared to, what other, players they have on the roster.
I would love Akeem Hicks right now. I mean, I think that defensive line for the Vikings is getting run over. I would love a big D tackle, somebody to come clog the middle up a little bit, or at that 3-4 end, that kind of body to come in and help. But that D line is so thin for the Vikings; they're just getting run over.
I've heard that name before, Akeem Hicks, huh?
Yeah, he used to kill the Vikings all the time, so it would be good to see him kill somebody else for once.
Yeah. So when we're looking at this game, Craig, are you going to go ahead and pick the Vikings to win this game?
I have to, and I'm 0-3 on the Vikings this year because I keep on picking them to freaking win. But I'm gonna say 27-17. I think it should be an easy win, but that doesn't exist for the Vikings, and it hasn't in the last 5 years. I don't think they've had an easy win. It seems like, but I'm just gonna say 27-17 because I think that's what it should be, but I know it's probably not.
Audiometric Technologies here. Thanks for listening. He says, what do you think about losing Cook this year? Do you think that played a huge part in your success last year?
So Cook is another player that's loved and hated. I mean, if you look at the metrics, those advanced metrics, they say he's lost a step. He's not that good. He dances around too much. But they don't win in Buffalo last year. They don't win in Indianapolis last year without him making big plays in clutch times.
He's a weapon.
I mean, he is a weapon, and he's a threat to take it 80 yards anytime he touches it. It's like Adrian Peterson used to be. He may get tackled for a loss on 5 plays a game, but he's also going to get you that 50-yard play, that 30-yard chunk play, and that's what this offense needs to offset Justin Jefferson out there. I mean, he's still getting his, obviously, but it was nice to have that balance and have somebody that, maybe we're not going to get 4 yards every time we run the ball. We might get 2, and then get 40. And so that was and that was kind of the other threat the defense had to worry about. I think the team does miss him. I don't think it's the reason they're 0-3. I mean, I think it's just turnovers, pure turnovers. But
I do.
I think they're less dangerous on offense without Cook.
It's so interesting. Like I feel like, we're not general managers, but, they try to play with numbers and contracts and everything like that. But I think sometimes, some of these general managers in front offices, like, try to get too cute and try to say, well, we can do it better than someone else. We don't need that guy. But you do need, I know running backs have kind of, lost value within a franchise, but you do need that solid running game to balance.
Yeah, Madison's been terrible. I mean, he's fumbled the ball a couple of times. I mean, I think he's rushed about 40 times and fumbled twice. I mean, and he's not looking explosive. He's looking a little indecisive at times too. To me, this past game was his best game. He got saved by the bell. They called it, lack of forward progress when he fumbled in the red zone. It was a clear fumble. The refs just bailed him out.
I cracked up when I saw that. I was like, "Look at this."
I mean, he's dropped a couple passes too. I mean, he's looked terrible this year, and that was it. This is his big chance to step up, and he's been he clearly isn't a first tier running back.
So, who are you going with 7-letter?
I think because of their inability to stop the run, I think the Vikings, getting a win column this week, but I do think it's a lot. It'll be closer than a 10-point win. It'll probably be somewhere along a 21-10, 21-20.
21-20.
Yeah,
Vikings. Okay.
because I just don't think that they can. Because the Panthers will run the ball. You know, like they got Deuce Staley over there. He gonna run the ball. You know,
Our friend
I don't know. I
Thielen
just think, and I think they got good pass rushes over there. Like I don't know. It's another one of those bad matchups, but I just think that the Vikings offensively, they just have too much talent in the receiving game for them to really just hold up. And I don't think the Panthers are going to move the ball as well, you know, in the passing game. Where they just make, you know, Andy Dalton, you know, is Andy Dalton, and I don't think Bryce Young isn't playing, right? So
it's questionable, but probably not.
Probably
right?
not. All right. So I mean, I think Bryce Young can put a wrinkle in there because he can use his legs, but it's not a good matchup. But I just think the defense will be on the, you know, it's attrition with defense. If the defense will be out there too much, then the Vikings eventually pull away because they're just loaded with talent in the receiver. So 21-20.
Trevor, are you on the Vikings too?
Yeah, I feel like I should pick the Panthers here because I've been picking the Vikings for 3 weeks. And it's just disgusting. You know what I mean? Like, I hate being wrong, but I don't know, just feel like this has got to be maybe they are that bad. I don't know. I'm going 33-24 Vikings. I think there's going to be a lot of scoring in this game. I don't know. I just believe in that offense of the Vikings more than I believe in the defense of the Panthers. That's a lot of points. I know I'm not giving the Panthers credit on D. I get it, but
I mean, and it's so interesting kind of going into this season. You know, you look back from last year, the Panthers, they made the playoffs, right?
Yeah.
Or they were
no,
close.
they almost they were making a run like us.
Tampa beat them at the end,
but they lost the Bucks.
Okay, so they were close, and I thought it was because they had a solid defense, right?
They had a good defense and a good running game. That's when Wilkes got I think so. I forget who got fired, but then Wilkes took over and had him playing good. He should have got the job. Be honest,
he should have. Yeah, and I think Horn maybe he's hurt again. JC Horn.
Yeah.
You know, so they still have Brian Burns. I know he's solid, right?
He got 3 sacks. Right.
But when you look at this game, I also think it is a get right. I mean, game. Yeah. I mean, when you look at the offense, the Vikings, I'm going to go ahead and pick the Vikings. And you said 33-24. I'm going to say 31-21 Vikings on this one. So looks like so far we're all in on the Vikings this year or this week. So we'll see. We will see. Now I'm really curious on this one. So in one of the other toilet bowls, path to the Bears riding to a victory over the Broncos. I'm going to go ahead and let you start with this one, Trevor.
I've been looking at this one because I'm like, I want to pick the Broncos here but I'm like, the Bears got to win eventually, right? So I'm sitting there and I'm looking at the schedule and I'm like, I don't know when the Bears are going to win. Like I'm not trying to be a jerk here.
No, I get it.
I'm literally looking at them like, I don't know. Like if they don't win here, they're not winning for a long time.
Andy, what's your schedule look like the next couple of weeks?
Yeah, put the schedule up.
All right, it's actually looking good. So
looking good.
There is a path.
Come on.
There is a path to the Bears being 4-3. Continue. No,
put up the schedule.
All right, here we go. Here it is.
I want to see this.
All right,
okay.
Denver,
Washington. You're going to beat Washington in Washington. No. You're going to beat the Vikings.
Oh, the Vikings. Yeah.
Oh, the Raiders.
Oh, the Raiders. Yeah. So there's a path. Denver. I'm not saying 100%, but there is a path to get right this week and go on a little bit of run. We'll see here, but continue on.
I think you get 2 wins.
Like that, you guys are going to win 10 games and make the playoffs.
Oh no, we're still on 8-9.
Oh, okay,
we're still on that path. We're still there.
Okay, so I don't believe in the Broncos, but I believe in the Broncos more than the Bears. I'm doing 30-21 road victory for the Broncos. Let's ride.
Okay, Russell Wilson. So
I
basically,
think Russell Wilson's better than Justin Fields. I'll tell you that.
You said
right
30-20 Broncos.
Who is it?
30-21.
And a lot of people are in fantasy are picking Russell Wilson to get right. You know, I can totally see that. Seventh letter. Who are you picking?
All right, so we got the 32nd ranked defense against the 30th ranked defense. The Broncos got the 15th ranked offense, 8th in passing. This might get ugly. Like, seriously. So I'm going to go like
70-20.
Nah, please no, man.
The Bears are underdogs at home to a team that lost by 50.
70.
Yes.
That was crazy, right?
Yeah,
that was
crazy.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go 35-6.
Wow.
Ooh. Okay.
This
For
is
the
home.
Bears? That's awesome.
For the Bears?
Broncos.
35-6. Wow.
You didn't
okay.
say so.
Oh, you are out on Fields. All right.
Yeah,
I get it.
I can't no more.
Right.
I can't.
That's all right. That's all right.
He's too nice. He
He's pretty nice.
He needs that. Like, if he had like a Baker Mayfield attitude, I believe him when he says we're gonna get right this week and all this stuff that he says. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get it. Yeah.
I think that the coaching staff is done. They don't believe it. I didn't even know about the DJ Moore not running routes. Like come on, yo, the most awareness on the football field last week is when DJ Moore got him taken out the game when he was a little busy. That other than that, it was a shit show.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what I'm watching. It reminds me of 2004 with me, like from the first Matt Ryan pass, it was over for our season. Like, everything was just terrible, and it's not like y'all getting better. It's not like
they get worse.
I see when we were losing, even when we were 1-6, like I could still see it. Like, all right, we just don't got enough. You know what I mean? Y'all don't have enough. Y'all don't play together. Y'all not playing hard. You got a bunch of people that's unmotivated and not playing hard at receiver. You know, your quarterback shell shock. I just don't see it, bro. I don't know how you're gonna. It's over. The ship has sunk. It's a wrap. And Eberflus is fired. It does not have a job on Monday. Ryan Poles has to. It's going to be self-preservation because the draft not looking good. You know what I mean? Past your first round pick, it's not looking good. Your defensive players sound on like Paul C talking about some, yo, I wish they wouldn't boo us. Like, it's over.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on over there.
Brisker, complaining about the Brewers.
Like,
that was ridiculous. Yeah. I mean, that's what fans are gonna do. They paid hard money. If
the product on the field, they
exactly
because of what they're watching.
Yep.
All this shit y'all talk.
It is very enjoyable. The field
from January to September 11th.
Yeah,
all that shit y'all talk. Like 3 eggs, 3 of them, 3 eggs.
We can turn it around. Come on, Craig.
No,
are you with me? Are you with me? Come on, Craig.
I'm starting the countdown to the most losses consecutively in NFL history. They're at 17 now. We only need to get to 26, so we're only 9 weeks away.
It's 13, right?
I think
13,
they can do
13.
it.
We're at 13.
Yeah. I'm sorry. It's only 13. I thought they were.
Russian history. Come on.
But yeah. We're not that far away still. We can still do it this year. Like, I believe in the Bears. I think they can do it. I believe Fields can do it. We're going to go 0-17. I'm never going to take the Bears to win again because I think they're the only team I ever get right in these predictions. So I'm gonna pick them to lose. I think it's going to be 26-3. I think it's going to be the get right game for Russell Wilson. I think that he's going to enjoy passing on this Bears defense, and I have no faith in Fields or either one of their wide receivers to actually give a crap about the game.
Wow, I need to get caught up on some of these comments here. Automated technologies. Whoa. Yes. Whoa. Yes. Coaching is gone. Yes. All this stuff. Absolutely better. You are hitting the nail on the head. Audiometric technologies. Absolutely. Fights are even in the locker room. It's out in the public.
Oh,
yes,
man.
all that stuff's happening. Broncos are going to want a redemption. Schedule looking good. All this stuff, right? I'm going ahead and picking the Bears. I am picking the Bears. It's a get right game for the Bears. They get 3 touchdowns and 2 field goals. So it's going to be 27-18 Bears at home. They're going to come home, and Justin Fields, they're going to get something going. They're going to start giving the damn ball to Rashawn Johnson. They're quitting on that way too soon. They're going to start doing, when you look at the Bengals are struggling. No one's really talking about that because they're talking about the shit show that is in Chicago right now, right? They're talking about that. But when you look at what they do with Jamar Chase, they move him around the field. When you have a talent like that, I'm not saying DJ Moore is Jamar Chase, but he's talented. You move him around in the offense. They're going to start doing some of that, and I see the Bears coming up with a 27-18 victory. They need this, and I say this almost in a positive and kind of a negative sign. All right. So I see the Bears getting this win because it will let the coaching staff kind of hold on a little bit longer. Right. And this coaching staff, it needs to be out of here, sometime this season or after season. We have Kevin Warren in. He has been known to come in and shake stuff up. Right. He's, so if anybody can hold anybody accountable in this organization, it's him, right? And so I think the Bears do get a win here, 27-18, and they can maybe start something. I'm not expecting a ton, but we are still on that track for about 8 wins. I'm going to hold to that. Justin Fields is going to go scorched earth, and he is going to turn things around. How about that, Trevor?
I just think your fandom is here. You have to. I don't think you actually believe this.
I do, though. I do.
No, I don't think you do, Andy. I think it's just so that if you fluke out and win, you can say, "See, I told you." But if you actually are going to put money down on it, or someone's life dependent on it, there's no way with anything that's going on in your team that you actually believe that. Like, how many O linemen are out still? How many
the left tackle played good.
Well. So here's the thing. Listening to Chase Daniel actually gave me a little bit of hope, and he was actually talking about, obviously he's been a backup NFL quarterback, but he's been able to see things. He, said when you look at the offensive line for what's kind of happened, all of these different things, they did have some good moments. But the biggest thing will have to be just the scheme. They're just going to have to change things around, and I think that they have to, because you talk about things on the line, right? And here we go. Rip off the Band-Aid season, hobbled anyway. Coaching has to go. The Bears aren't known to do that, right? They're not known to do that. But here's the thing. I think lives are on the line, coaching lives on the line, right? Getsy, if he is smart enough, if he wants another job beyond this year, he's going to listen to his quarterback. They're going to do more design runs. They're going to try to do some things, just to get wins. And obviously that is a Band-Aid, but that's what he needs to do to continue to have a job in the NFL. And the problem is, regardless, I think, how this turns around, they're going to have to clean house at the end of the year regardless, and just kind of start over, new voices and everything. But this week, I think the Bears do come out with the victory. I do believe that. Can I see the other perspective? Obviously, I can see that the Bears, get, the Broncos get right versus the Bears. Absolutely, with what's happened.
Oh Lord,
dude. I'm in shock, but hey, I hope you're right. I hope you're right for yourself, because it gets to be a really discouraging season if you don't.
It does, and so let me say that here. Okay. So, on Twitter X, I've been, all about trying to focus on Jordan Love. Right. All right. and trying to, shift away from Justin Fields. Because, yeah, I mean, he does have to play better. And so, if the Bears lose this week, I think I am officially off the bandwagon, and you can kind of look for the tank for Caleb Williams. And it's possible, with how bad Carolina is, the Bears could have the first and second pick, right? So that would, you get, Caleb Williams and I don't know, Marvin Harrison Jr., although I would tend to lean toward trying to get, an edge rusher. You need someone on defense. That's been the big thing in Chicago radio this week is how good Jalen Carter has looked. Just a generational talent. Just how much of a stud he is.
Jalen Carter is in a very good situation because he showed a lot of signs of immaturity coming out in the draft. You remember, came to his workout overweight, had gotten to the car accident earlier, after the national championship. He's on a squad he got Fletcher Cox. He has a whole bunch of, mature men around him, and that's an optimal place for him. The Eagles have a foundation there. He's not the type. He's a great player. He looks great. It's sexy. You know what I mean? It's very sexy for us right now. Like, I'm like, damn, we can use that. But he's in a really good situation, and they don't have to use him that much. They got Fletcher Cox there. He can be in a rotation, and he'll have fresh legs, and he'll have to play 60 snaps for y'all.
I totally agree. I do agree with that. But part of it is the Matt Eberflus defense is that 3 technique, right? And that's what he plays. And the coaching staff has talked about, that is the most important piece in this defense. And yet they don't have it. That player fell to them. They could have done that. Now, obviously, revisionist history and all this, they did need an offensive line. I'm glad that they have that left tackle.
He's the one bright spot on your team.
He is.
Him and Johnson. He's the only guy playing.
I totally agree with that. And I would love to, this is more than a 2-year rebuild, but something's got to happen. They have to start learning how to win. And I'm hoping they do it this week, because if not, heads are going to roll. It's not going to be good. And Fields maybe only gets a few more weeks if they don't, win either. So that's going to be interesting.
That'll be so sad, man.
Hey, he's calling me out my Homer fanboy delusion. I'll take it. I
agree with that statement, man.
I'm good with that.
Yeah.
Part of it is absolutely yes. I want to believe that they're going to do well, right? Obviously, I want to, so I'll take that as well. So let's move on to the marquee matchup this week. And Thursday night football. Packers. Let's go ahead and start with you, Trevor. What is the path to Green Bay taming the Lions on Thursday night football?
Well, in order for us to win, I think that we have to come out with a great game plan. I think that we need to somehow slow down that pass rush. I don't know how we're going to do it because last year they gave us trouble, and I'm worried about that a lot. I'm worried about their defense, which is crazy in the first half of the season, right? No one's saying that. And now it's like it's switched. Now, I don't think they're as good as I thought. I thought the Detroit Lions were going to be better defensively. I've been disappointed by how they played overall. But I do think that they're very good in some ways. So if we can figure out a way to slow that down, I do think that we have a chance. I am worried about all the injuries again. Now, it looks like Aaron Jones is going to play this week. So I'm personally super pumped about that. Watson, I don't think he's going to play. It looks like we're missing guys on the O-line again. And this is where I'm super worried about that. I just think there's too many holes at the moment. But if we can find a way, I don't think Jared Goff's been playing that great this year.
He played good last week. Actually, last week did he run one in 7th letter?
Yes, he even ran it. He even ran a touchdown there.
Yeah, I don't think he's that great.
Well, we don't have everybody. We hurt. We're hurt too. So
yeah.
He didn't play with everybody. Like Amon-Ra was playing with a steel boot on. Like Reynolds was hurt. We hurt. We're hurt.
I understand that.
But and the Falcons have a pretty good defense. So we played good. We played all right.
I want to push back a little bit on Trevor. You saying that their defense hasn't played well. I mean, they did well. They held back Bijan. How much did they give up against
I'm talking about all 3 weeks.
Well, against the Chiefs, right? They held
Chiefs.
Right?
We shut down Walker. Like, we got a good run defense.
A lot better than last year this time, for sure, right?
Way better. Mm-hmm. Way better than last year. It's not even close. It's like we were 32nd. We were 32nd around this time last year. We're 11th. We got the 11th ranked defense right now.
What I like is we keep surprising people. So if we win, I'm going to be thrilled, man. Like what I do like
my shit.
Yes, Kate. Listen. I agree with you. Okay. Now at the end of the day, I was hoping that Detroit was going to win last week and that we were going to win, so that this become a good game. That it's something that's worth watching. Now, whether the game happens and we either blow them out or they blow us out, that's whatever happens, right? But I'm excited that this is for the King of the North early on. Like, this is exciting for the league. We've been talking about 0-3 teams here playing each other. Like, that's not good for the league. This is good for the league, right?
It's good for the league, absolutely, yeah. And so, seventh letter, what is your path to the Lions leaping to victory at Lambeau on Thursday?
Yeah, surprisingly, like, it's not been looking like y'all could stop the run this year, so I'm excited about that. You know what I mean? Like, I think if we kind of like how we beat them last year, just beat them up again. We beat them up last year. Let's beat them up again. We beat them up twice last year. Real good. They're not as physical as us, and they're not as disciplined as we are. They got a lot of talent on defense, and for some reason, they let Atlanta get back in it and win. I don't think I would take the same kind of game plan we had this week for Ritter. Like, let Love beat us. Let Love beat us, because he was 22 for 44 again.
Mm-hmm.
He's like 50% pass completion percentage. Like, let's beat them up again. They're not as physical as we are. Let's just go in there and just be physical with them. They're not physical enough for us. Now they are the Packers still, and they have whooped our ass a whole bunch of time. Hopefully Montgomery can play and we can give him his first Packer win.
Ouch.
That's what he said. He said, I never beat him before.
Yeah.
Please play so we can beat you again. Please play.
Yo.
Is he gonna play though?
Hopefully. It's a thigh view. It's a soft tissue injury. Like, if we could hold them out, I would love to see Jahmyr Gibbs against y'all. Like, I would love that on that grass. I would love it. That would be wonderful.
They weren't giving him the ball like the number one, though, were they?
Last week he had 17 carries.
17.
Okay, 17, yeah.
Yeah, they kept giving it.
No one else was
they were kind of stopping them, through the first few quarters, and then the fourth quarter when we warmed down a little bit, then the run game started to work. You stuck with it. That's one thing about Dan Campbell. We're gonna run that ball. It's never gonna be Jared Goff throwing 30. All these 30 attempts at halftime, I'm saying, like, it's crazy. I don't understand how people think they're gonna win like that. Mm-hmm. You're not gonna win like that. You gotta. It's too predictable. It makes you. It's one dimensional. It's not. I don't know. I don't know. I just think we're more physical than them. I don't think but I want to see Andy.
Yeah, it could quite possibly happen.
Yeah,
that's what I'm afraid of. You better win. You better win.
That's what I'm saying. Man.
I can't possibly root for the Packers in any situation, but it would be worth it. It would always be worth it just to see you lose your shit.
Well, I went to the game, the Brewers-Cardinals game last night, where the Brewers clinched it, and the Brewers actually were lost to the Cardinals, and I'm like, who do I, my girlfriend's right there, who I cheer for. I can't, and the Cubs like screwed it up and lost, and they showed it up on the board and everything like that. But it was kind of a lame celebration, actually. They just showed it up on the board. They didn't come out. But anyway, it was against anything. I could not cheer for the Cardinals. Absolutely not. So, I'm happy the Brewers are in. The Brewers I can cheer for. but the Packers absolutely not. 0-100. I want them to miss every single game.
Yes.
If the Packers figure out how to win, I mean, LaFleur, he's got to be up there for Coach of the Year. He really does. I'll give him that. And if Love actually gets to a point where when the Packers win because of him, because he started to do something at the end of the fourth quarter, I'll give him that. I will start giving him props, but right now he's has to do a lot of growth, right? He's got to keep making the simple plays. Like he's not making some of those simple plays. Like he just looked terrible for most of the game, didn't he, Trevor?
Yeah, he was missing throws. He was missing throws. He wasn't as accurate. He was struggling. He also had people drop some passes as well. But in saying that, what he did with his legs, and then when he clutched up at the end, I appreciate, Andy, that you think my coach is good. I'm thankful. I think he's good too. But at the end of the day, Matt LaFleur is not on the field. It's Jordan Love. He's the one making it happen in that fourth quarter. It's his hand on the ball, and I just can't deny what I saw. Like, yes, are they calling the right plays? Sure. I think it all works together. But at the end of the day, it was Jordan Love. So if he can string that together, we got a chance.
What's the score? What's your score?
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm okay. So beginning of the season, I picked the Lions to win this week. I'm gonna stick with them just because I think we're not healthy. I think you guys are gonna give us trouble in that D line. So I'm picking the Lions are gonna win 31-21.
All right. What about you, seventh letter?
70-20, Detroit. I think it's gonna be close because it's the Packers. I'm thinking something like 17-14 or something like that. Wow. Something low scoring. We don't have everybody yet. We're a little bit we got to do a whole bunch of short passing until we get Jameson Williams back. Like we're not a threat deep. So if Jair Alexander doesn't play, then it will score a little more. But 17-13.
17-13 Lions, right?
Detroit, of course.
All right. What about you, Craig?
Yeah, I think Green Bay's going to be missing Bakhtiari and Jenkins, so your left tackle and left guard are out against that defensive line. That's going to be a tough ask.
Hayden over there, yeah.
I mean, it's not going to be a good look for the Green Bay offense. I think this week, I think they probably only must throw up about 6 points, and I'm going to go 18-6 Detroit. As I think I don't love the Detroit Lions. Like you said, they're not healthy. They're not. I don't think that offense looks great right now, but. I just can't trust the Green Bay offense against that defense, missing 40% of your offensive line.
But hold up, before y'all saying we got the 8th ranked offense in the NFL. with like half, like the whole offensive line was hurt last week. We got Penei Sewell. We had to move him to the left. We lost 3 tackles. We had our 3rd string tackle in. You know what I mean? Like.
Well, no, you should. I mean, yeah, like you look like you have a 3rd string. I mean, it's not that bad, but like you're doing well for what's happening. But it's not like if you were completely healthy, it'd be a different story. I think this offense is very good, but like it's the way it is right now. I think it is it's above average offense, not a great offense, and so
no, it's not a great offense yet. Yeah, I agree with that. But we are the 8th ranked offense in the NFL.
Yeah, that's a nugget right there. So. A couple things, Trevor. What I saw, something on Twitter, X, whatever you're calling it. It's a possibility Bakhtiari might have played his last game for the Packers. Like, there's some kind of noise out there about that, and I didn't really kind of explore it, but that would be an interesting thing if Bakhtiari was done with the Packers.
Is it because of injury? Is it because we're trading him?
I maybe a little bit of both, right? He's obviously
if we trade him, that's one thing, but
yeah. So that'll be something to watch. But these Thursday night games, I know. I think 7th letter, you were, well, actually, you picked 17-13. So Trevor's the one that picked 31-21. these Thursday night games, I feel like they're always so weird. They throw players off their normal routines and everything. So I always see I feel like there's going to be either just crazy high scores or lower scores. And I was almost going to do the 6 with you also, Craig. I'm going to go 20-9 here. Lions. I'm going Lions.
They're not going to score a touchdown?
Nope.
Yeah, I think
both of you guys said that.
20-9. I just don't think, Hutchinson, that defense, they're going to be coming after him. And I think, I keep throwing it on Twitter, the stuff about him doing the splits. I mean, he could have gotten really injured in that play,
right.
And so he's got some big moments, but then he's got some moments where he just looks like he is going to fall apart or pee down his leg or something like that. So
wow.
He did have a split with the flea flicker last week, right? Something crazy.
And even the announcers are like, oh, they were talking about how bad he was, playing. So give him credit. He turned it around. The team did. The referees did as well. So I give him credit there too. So
you already know.
Let's just kind of obviously kind of going back. So our records so far here. All right. So 7th letter, you're in the lead. Or no. Trevor,
I'm on the lead.
You're in the lead. You're 8-5, I believe. Is that what you have? You're 8-5 on the record so far. 7th letter, you're 7-4. I am 6-5, and sorry, Craig,
whatever.
You're 2-9.
Yeah, I picked the Bears to lose twice, and those are the only 2 ones I have right. So,
I think you missed. Yeah.
I picked them to win week 1. So yeah, that's the only reason I only have 2.
Yeah. So, so there you go. I'm gonna.
So you guys surprised I picked the Lions?
Nah, you said you was. You said you was gonna pick the Lions.
No, you're usually actually pretty realistic about your expectations too. Like you don't go crazy too much. So,
I would agree. I'd agree. That's why I'm glad that you're on and Dale's on, because you and I'll give you credit. You are you guys are the realistic Packer fans.
Make you kind of like the Pack. Make you kind of like Packer fans a little bit talking to them too. Him and Dale,
I know, and it makes me a little bit sick. But hey, it's just yeah, exactly. It's not the meatballs they're like, oh, Jordan Love is going to be MVP now. Or
next Hall of Fame quarterback, and it's like, okay, we'll give him a couple of years to figure it out first before
King of the North,
yeah,
all that shit.
And so that's why I don't know. I mean, obviously it's early in the season, but this is an important game. I think in my entire life, really when I think about it, because I may be pretty depressed next week, Trevor. So
could you imagine if the Broncos win and the Packers win? Dude,
I knew the Chiefs were.
I'm gonna have to see how you're doing.
Well, so I knew the Chiefs were gonna demolish the Bears. I knew that was gonna happen, but I was pretty depressed, and I was watching my girlfriend's house, and she's actively, literally clapping hard for the Chiefs. So it's
you need to bring her on the show.
Yeah. So yeah, it's brutal, but
she sounds like a smart woman.
Yeah. Yes. So. Well, this has been fun, guys. I definitely appreciate it. Where can everyone find you again, Craig?
Yeah, DayandOarsman.com and on Twitter at GA_SKol.
Awesome. Always glad to have you. And always glad to have you, 7th letter. Where can everyone find you?
7th letter 4 on X. Same OG on Twitter and Instagram, and on the top of the NFC North. Tomorrow night, Sunday. Or
be fun.
Thursday night. It's going to be fun. Trevor, where can we find you?
Rev Trev K on Twitter, X, and Kempner Sports on YouTube. Check out the channel.
And you can find me on NFLOutdated on Twitter, X, on not quite on TikTok yet, but I might have to make it a TikTok if the Packers win. I'm definitely going to do TikTok on that. You can find me.
You should make a TikTok on without you think the Bears are going to win and you're going to turn around and you're going to go 4-3. Because if it goes, if you win, then that goes viral.
Yeah. Hey,
or if they go 0-7, you might go the other way.
Yeah.
They
Do
go 0-7,
exactly, Craig.
All right.
This is a no-lose situation for you. If you just
No lose.
do 2 videos,
I've been thinking about that for I was hoping it was a no lose the last 3 weeks, but it's been a lose. So
right? Do 2
No,
videos.
always
Do one that you say that the Broncos are going to lose to the Bears.
no.
And then do a second one, right? Of that the Bears are going to win the next 4 weeks. That would be awesome.
I'm gonna do that last one. I'm actually gonna do the last one because I'm not gonna go back. I am a man of my word, and if I will go ahead and say, I was wrong on Jordan Love. If he starts to, show a little bit more, and maybe even Packers as well, because I did think the Packers were going to be the last in the North. I still have that hope that the Vikings will beat them twice, the Lions will beat them twice, and the Packers will lose to the Bears at Lambeau. This is my dream. Let it be so.
Hey, I hope you're right. That sounds like fun.
Coming from both the 0-3 guys, that's what I love about this. it's like everything you guys have said.
I don't think it's gonna happen, but
Lots
I
can-
hope you're right.
Lots can change.
Yes,
It's
you're
a
right.
long season,
Yeah.
or it could be a long season. So we'll see. That's why I've got my hotel reserved for Detroit. We could have the first and second picks in the draft. It might be another historic draft for the Bears. We will see. Always fun, guys. Once again, it's been the Freezin Fourth NFC North podcast. Like, subscribe. Definitely follow these guys on all socials, and they are amazing, except for the teams that they follow. But I definitely appreciate all of them. Thanks, guys.
You're welcome. Thanks,
Peace.
Harvey.
Everybody be safe.
See you.